Hello and welcome back to 7 by Kevin, the 7-Minute Daily Podcast. And I am embarrassed. Why am I embarrassed? Well, it was that very first video that I did about a week ago called I'm staying online until I find a job. I'm staying online answering interview questions and a Guinness Book of World Record attempt. All that was true, but I was embarrassed because I've never done a YouTube video before, and you could probably tell, and you could probably still tell. And I've never done a podcast, and you might be able to tell with some ums and ahs. But if you saw that, especially if you saw that whole 3-hour video that I did, I was somewhat actually really embarrassed because my throat started hurting me after about 30 or 40 minutes in, and I did 3 hours. I must have drank 2.5 glasses of water, and I thought I was going to have to put, a sign on the back of my chair, back in 5 minutes because I need to pee. But it was getting me out of my comfort zone, which I kind of have to do if you're looking for a job and you want to kind of stand out. And also, I wanted to start a podcast, and I thought, why not start a podcast and also do one on YouTube? So if you're listening to this wherever you listen to podcasts, you can definitely find this exact same video on YouTube with the same channel name, the 7-Minute Daily Podcast, 7 by Kevin. But also on this podcast and every other one before and every other one that you'll see after this with me there is zero editing. I don't do anything post-production. I don't have any editing skills. I use currently Riverside, I think it's called, and it records 2 separate tracks, audio and video, and I was able to send out the video one to YouTube and the audio one to all the podcasts. Starting with Anchor.fm. So I don't do any production. There's no like splash of color here, graphic, go to B-roll, nothing like that. I wanted to be authentic. I wanted to be, any mistakes that I make or ums or ahs, I'm keeping in there to be authentic. And also, I also wanted to see, I'm starting to lose my train of thought, leaving it in there. Doesn't matter to me because I used to listen to, even when I was early to mid-teens, I love talk radio. I listen to some music too, but primarily I was talk radio. I like to listen to what people are talking about. And so it reminded me of that. I really like that. I like listening to people chat and just talk normal and without having to be too much over the top and too many graphics and that sort of thing. It's as real as it gets. And as I mentioned, I've never been in front of the camera before. In terms of for YouTube, I have done a couple of YouTube videos in the past, but it was always I was behind the camera on a different channel, but never in front of the camera. But I think these last coming up 2 years have taught, I think, a lot of us is be comfortable in front of the camera for Zoom. And so, and also doing interviews on Zoom. I've been in the last 2 years, done more interviews on camera than I definitely have probably by a figure of probably 50 to 1 in front of the camera versus either on the phone or actually going somewhere to be interviewed. So you start to get more and more comfortable. In fact, I find when I'm talking on a Zoom meeting, I tend to be talking, I try and give people the benefit of the doubt and pretend like I'm looking right in their eyes. So I like to look right into that camera as opposed to looking down away from the camera, because you want to look at see other people's reactions and that sort of thing. And I can with my peripheral vision, but if I see some big movement or I say something that is very thoughtful, insightful, creative, I will cheat a little bit and I will look down away from the camera to see if I can get some kind of a reaction from either the group of people I'm talking to or what have you. So it's just a matter of practice and doing it over and over again. And so that's why I came out with this kind of podcast and video. So I really hope you'll continue to with this journey with me. I have no intention of I've only really got a couple of downloads or a couple of people listening on Anchor and other podcasts. And I've only got, at this time, 18 people that have subscribed to my YouTube channel, but that's okay. because I'm not doing it for the views or sponsorship or anything like that. I'm doing it because I like it and I enjoy it. And I'm really looking forward to what I can bring you, because I do have some guests coming up. I have the next 2 or 3 podcasts are going to be quite fun. I do know I'm going to have something to show, but I know that's going to be difficult with keeping in mind there's also a podcast. So I'm going to have to be super descriptive in what I'm holding up, but that's okay. I think it's going to be a super fun one to see. So I certainly hope you join me for that one, and please help me out. Just give a quick like, maybe a share, a comment. Give me an idea of something that maybe you want to see, you want to hear. That would be awesome. And my email address is 7bykevin@gmail.com. So I hope you also send me an email to say, hey, great job, lousy job. This is what I want to see. This is what I don't want to see. And so that I can do content that you guys will like. So I appreciate your time being here again. And I will see you. Oh, one last thing. I didn't do a video yesterday. So I think I probably should have changed the name of the podcast to 7 by Kevin, the 7-minute almost daily podcast, but that's okay. Maybe I might take one day off a week. I think I'm okay with that, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens after a month, what the average is. So coming up for the end of the time, so I appreciate it. That's 7 by Kevin, the 7-minute daily podcast. Thanks again for joining me.